So, don't tell anybody, but Vortex grenades in Void 3.0 are fucking amazing right now. I knew they were adding the suction effect, but my god, they are far and away the best PvE grenades right now, and the fact that they suck is only half the reason why. I'm going to break down the build I ended up running through most of the Witch Queen campaign, which is amazing by the way, and there will be some gameplay shown from the campaign on Legendary difficulty, but absolutely zero story spoilers or any encounters from the latter part of the campaign. Vortex grenades with the right aspects, fragments, and mods will now pull in all surrounding enemies, weaken them, cause them to explode, heal you, recharge your grenade, your rift, and can last for over 6 seconds. So if you want to throw Vortex grenades, and a lot of them, then there is no better exotic than Contraverse Hold. They go together like lamb and tuna fish, or maybe you prefer spaghetti and meatball. Either way, with just Contraverse Hold and the Chaos Accelerant aspect, you can recharge nearly your entire grenade. Now, you could already do this before because a charged Vortex grenade lasts long enough to proc the regen from Contraverse Hold twice. But in Witch Queen, Bungie increased the cooldown on Vortex grenades by just over 15%. Yuck. In fact, let's look at the patch notes. They also decreased the damage of the ticks by 20%. Double yuck. But wait, Lucid, I thought you said Vortex grenades were amazing. Okay, yes, I did, but just wait. We can erase most of that damage loss by tossing on the fragment Echo of Undermining to weaken our targets for 15% more damage. And also Echo of Remnants to allow our Vortex grenades to last an insanely long time. By default, Vortex grenades last roughly 3 seconds. Charged with Chaos Accelerant, they last 4. But you add on Echo of Remnants and they now last over 6. Really, they last about 7 from the initial impact, which will come into play in the build later on, but there's a slight delay until the ticks kick in. This allows Vortex grenades to deal a total of 25 ticks of damage, which is a net buff to the total damage output compared to pre-Witch Queen. They don't quite last long enough to proc the energy return from Contraverse Hold 3 times, but they give you a much larger window to get that double proc, and they allow multiple elemental wells to proc, getting around the cooldown on those, as well as more procs from bolstering detonation to recharge our rift. They stick around so long that multiple waves of enemies will die from a single grenade. But even with just the double proc from Contraverse Hold, we can now add Devour to the build through the Feed the Void aspect, which will grant roughly 15% grenade energy per kill in addition to healing you to full. With proper placement, this will allow an infinite loop of grenades. The whole build looks like this. We're running the Cataclysm Nova Bomb, which now travels 30% faster, and they improved the Seekers, which now have a slight delay so they don't detonate early. Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Pocket Singularity, and Vortex grenades. We've got aspects Feed the Void for Devour and Chaos Accelerant to charge up the grenades. Fragments Undermining, Remnants, and Expulsion, providing bonus damage, longer lasting grenades, and explosions respectively. Now, Echo of Undermining comes at a cost, and it's 20 discipline. I had to shuffle around some gear to make up the difference, and you definitely want to run with max discipline. And of course we also want to max out our recovery, with the rest of our stat budget going into intellect. I basically moved points from intellect into discipline, but Echo of Expulsion does grant 10 intellect, so really you're only down 10 stat points total from before. Our helmet, as per usual, we will want to be solar to slot in ashes to assets because of the insane amount of super energy we'll be getting from all the grenade kills. Whether or not you want to squeeze in 2 of these is up to you, but we will also want the combat mod Elemental Ordnance to spawn an elemental well from our grenade kills. Our Contraverse Hold should be void so we can rock bolstering detonation. This mod grants 25% rift energy on grenade damage with around a 7-second cooldown between procs. But with Vortex grenades it can proc twice as long as you score a hit with the initial impact of the grenade. This is such an underrated perk. We can get back 50% of our rift energy just from one grenade. The combat mod here can be a few different things. We can run a second Elemental Ordnance mod to spawn additional wells for the extra grenade, rift, and melee energy. We can run Font of Might, granting void weapons 25% bonus damage for 10 seconds. Font of Wisdom to grant us max intellect, bringing our super, which at tier 5 is a 7 minute 31 second cooldown, down to 6 minutes 23 seconds, so over a minute off. Or we can even run Enduring Wells, which adds 10 seconds to the life of our wells, so they'll stick around for a full 30 seconds. I ran with the extra Elemental Ordnance for more wells, but the build is so versatile, it's really up to you which mod you want to put there, and there's also room for more customization later on. For the chest and leg armor, we need one to be Arc and one to be Void, so we can run the Arc mod Seeking Wells, which lets all wells track right to you, and also the Void mod Will of Tenacity. Will of Tenacity was just buffed to 50% damage reduction for 10 seconds for incredible survivability. Pour one out for Protective Light. This will make stepping out of cover to reach wells that might be out of tracking range much safer. In between the damage reduction and devour, you have insane survivability. Finally, the bond I'm rocking is solar for double bomber and bountiful wells. Bomber gives extra cushion for our grenade regen, granting 30% grenade energy upon casting our rift, and bountiful wells doubles our well production. With just one elemental ordnance mod, and the rest of the build will spawn 2 wells, and with 2 elemental ordnance mods we'll spawn 3. And because how long the Vortex grenades last, we can proc wells multiple times from the same grenade, skirting around the cooldown on the wells. Because we get so much grenade energy from contraverse, devour, and bomber, the energy we get from wells in most cases is superfluous, which means we can even ditch bountiful wells and run 2 extra well buffs such as Font of Wisdom and Font of Might or Enduring Wells. This is such a fun and easy build to play, and it's just one big loop. Toss your overcharge grenade at the beefiest enemy or the highest density area of enemies, which will continuously suck them into the center. Immediately drop your rift to get back 30% of your grenade. Contraverse Hold and Devour will take care of the rest, recharging the rest of your grenade, healing you with each kill. Bolstering Detonation will quickly recharge your rift from the grenade damage, often to full before your first rift even runs out. Your grenade kills will give an insane amount of super energy thanks to Ashes to Assets, cause enemies to explode, drop wells that track to you, granting 50% damage reduction, recharging all your abilities, and depending on which extra well mod you took, either increased weapon damage, super regen, or make your wells last that much longer. I tested out quite a few builds throughout the campaign, but nothing lets you spam the most powerful grenades in the game like this. And I wanted to share what I thought was the strongest voidwalker Void 3.0 build first, and I believe this is it. I'll be putting together builds for the rest of the various Warlock exotics such as Nezarec Sin, Nothing Manacles, Skull of Dire Hamkara, and the new second filaments, or Secant? Either way. On-demand Devour and Overload rounds is going to be really interesting. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Now get out there and start slinging those grenades. I'll see you on the flip side.